Welcome to Manish, our founder and CEO of Gradient Labs, who now will be giving us a preview and demo. Over to you.
This particular problem came like exactly 3 months back when I first discussed with very few people who are sitting in the first row. And it was a very early idea that we are still trying to figure out. Like every startup, we were just trying to understand how to solve this. And our team has come up with multiple different solutions, out of which we thought, okay, this is the right way to do it, and that's how the whole journey got started. So today we've been building this, ideating this, strategizing this for almost 3 months now. We thought it is time we do some public preview. The whole point of this event is to help you understand what is the problem that I have seen. So I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now. I work with so many developers, and I work with different level of developers, from the most seniors to the guys who just entered. I can see a lot of students also here, which is a good thing. So this problem exists at all levels. So that is the diversity of this problem, where it starts with somebody who's just getting started to the most senior who's a solution architect or somebody as a researcher as well. So what we've done is we're in the agentic world. So how do we solve this problem with agents? So that was the big question. And hence we've come up with this thing called agentic superficient learning platform. So if you see the actual problem right now, most code bases that you see right now, or at least that are getting written, 40 to 60% of the current code is actually written by AI. And these are the exact tools that every developer is using, starting from Claude Code, Cursor, Gemini, Codex, and the most recent Devin AI. So if agents are basically writing the code and they're doing pretty much the entire syntax part, what is the real problem? The real problem is actually understanding what it is writing. So that becomes a real problem for us. So while we are trying to understand, okay, what is the gap while understanding it? So if every code written, every feature shipped is so fast with AI, our human comprehension still remains the same. If AI is generating 1,000 lines of code, we as human, we are still trying to understand in the same speed. So how do we increase speed? How do we increase the velocity? So that is the main problem statement that we have picked, and the solution that we have designed also aligns with it. So during this problem, there's something called, everybody must have heard, technical debt. So this is the first time we're doing something called knowledge debt. So if 5 people are basically merging code on a daily basis in a rapid speed, there is a knowledge debt that is getting increased. And imagine the same problem having with a group of 100 developers working on a larger project. So it's just mounting on a daily basis. And while I am doing this research, I wanted to understand how big of this is a problem. So this is the most recent stats coming from October's event from GitHub. So you can see there are close to 630 million repos in GitHub. There are close to 180 million developers who are accessing GitHub. And there are more than 1.12 billion contributions that are happening. The most surprising part is India stands as #1, and this is directly from GitHub. So this is not made up or anything. I picked up from a GitHub report and I put it. So if you see the number there, it's just growing till 60 million developers. So 25 to 2030, this is the projection from GitHub, and India remains the biggest and largest community. And surprisingly, we are the top contributors when compared to the entire world in terms of public repos as well. And when it comes to public repos, the best part is everybody is a white coder now. Everybody is generating code. Now everybody has to save this code. Now where is this code getting saved? Everything is moving into GitHub. And everybody who pushes this code doesn't have any knowledge on what the code is. They just push the code, they have a front end, and it beautifully explains the project, and we're done. So we're also doing a small thesis stating, okay, now what are the 5 levels of learning in the age of AI? This is what we figured out. So there are 5 different levels that you can learn right now. Where if you see on the bottom layer, all the level ones are basically QA with LLMs. The first thing that you do is you go to Perplexity, you go to ChatGPT, or you go to Claude, you do an instant QA and you get an answer, that's it, done. So it's a short-lived context is what we call, and you only get a problem, you get a solution, that's it. That doesn't have any life. Now the second one is basically QA with YouTube, okay, Udemy. So these are generally your 30-minute courses or 6-hour courses where it's called passive learning, where you basically go, you try to understand the whole, but in the end of the course, there's only 20% that you remember. The entire 70%, you still get it, but it is just not entered inside. And the third one is more project-based, where you get hands-on. And the fourth one is the most recent one, which is basically the Notebook LM. Notebook LM actually generates some amazing technical videos for you to get these explanations. So this is a new generational one, multimedia generation of actual videos. So you can instantly generate your videos of a solution that you want. How many of you are using Notebook LM? Now, how do we do and solve this differently with agents? So that's when we came up with Gradientflo. Introducing Gradientflo. So this is the first time where we want the agent to have multiple capabilities. When I say capabilities, it should have voice, vision, it should be able to generate an artifact that I want so I understand it better. And if you are unable to take an action, it should also take some agentic actions. So these are the 4 key capabilities that we're trying to build on top of this agent. So once the capabilities are given, the most important aspect for a tutor is hyper-personalization. If a tutor is not hyper-personalized to you, again, it will be generic. It doesn't evolve over time. And it only loses out of context, and it needs context every time. So what we're trying to do is we're doing some short-term memory, long-term memory, where it basically remembers and it knows how to teach you. And based on that, it basically articulates better as you keep using the platform. Right now, we have like 4 different modes. We have a course mode, chat mode, voice mode, and GitHub repo mode. So I'll give you a quick demo. Before that, I'll show you how it works. It's a very simple flow. You just have to enter your prompt. There is an instant course that gets generated, and every course is well structured into 5 learning steps. And then you basically have your learning platform. And once you're done with learning, then there is a quick assessment it does just to understand, did you grab that 15 minutes attention? Were you able to answer the questions? And then it does something called micro certificates, which you can basically say as a system of record to tell that, hey, you know what, I learned this concept and I have good amount of awareness of it. So let me give you a quick demo. So this is the landing page, guys. Okay. So let me start with voice mode first. So voice mode is the first mode that we have built. So it's a very quick action kind of thing. Let's say you have some doubts, just like how you basically ask your peers, hey, you know what, I want to learn something like this, or you're trying to read a quick blog. Instead of doing that, you will just use voice mode, where you'll be able to interact with different types of experts. So if you see the type of experts here, they're almost like 15 different experts that are getting configured. So you can just ask it any question and it has a memory to store it as well. So for now, I'm just selecting evals expert and let's do the testing. Hey, I want to learn something about agentic evals.
Agentic evals are quite interesting. Instead of just evaluating the output of a single step, agentic evals measure how well an agent performs a complex task over time, interacting with its environment and making decisions. What kind of agent are you working on?
I'm trying to build a tutor agent. Just want to understand how to evaluate performance and hallucinations of the model.
For a tutor agent, evaluating performance involves more than just accuracy. You'd look at things like how well the agent customizes its explanations, how effectively it provides feedback, and whether students actually improve their understanding.
So this is how simply you can basically jump into voice mode, and you can start talking to any of these experts. So the expert basically is available for all levels, starting from solution architect to the ground level. Anybody can basically quickly jump in and start talking to these experts. Now, okay, well, now you basically understood the concept. Now you want to take it to the next level. Now all you can do is you can just go to quick chat mode. So chat mode, you can just say, I want to learn about agent evals. So this is just like any other text, just like your LLM. Okay, we wanted to keep it simple as well. So what we have done a little differently here is, the session is actually getting stale and it is actually summarizing your intent. So it is trying to understand, okay, you want to learn something, should I start building a course? That is what it is doing. Now, this is the first time that we are also showing. So for some reason, I feel text is too simple to learn. There's no engagement when you see text to text. It's still terminal experience for me. So what I asked my team is to build something called rich UI. Can you give me real world examples? So instead of giving plain text, what we're doing is we're doing rich UI. So everything that you want to learn, it's instantly generating UI and it's basically giving you all examples. So this is a more rich experience in terms of understanding the context rather than just reading sentence by sentence. So once you're done, okay, now it has enough context. So all you have to do is click on start learning. So it basically summarizes the entire thread, and once the thread is completed, it knows that, okay, you want to learn very specific about agentic evals, and it summarizes the text and inserts into the box. So here we have like 12 different types of artifacts. So you want to learn something very specific about using AI slides, you can select AI slides and then start the learning process. So here what's happening is instantly the platform is setting up 5 steps. It's basically curating the entire course and then generating a quick ByteCourse, which is 15 minutes instantly. Yeah. So as you can see, it has generated 5 steps, starting from advanced metrics, automating agentic evaluations, common pitfalls, practical implementation, and developing custom evaluation. So this is something that we call 360-degree learning. So what happens is, yes, we give you brief on the concept, but our goal is to basically always give you 360-degree learning in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you should be able to get your high-level details, have some real-world examples, and also what are the key metrics that you need to take out from that particular concept.
Welcome, Manish. I'm ready to guide you through the world of agent evaluations, helping you understand advanced metrics, automation, pitfalls, and frameworks. Are you ready to start learning?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great. Let's start with a deeper dive into quantitative metrics beyond basic accuracy. We'll look at precision, recall, F1 score, and how frameworks like LangChain, OpenAI, and Anthropic handle these metrics. Are you comfortable with those terms?
Yes, I'm totally comfortable.
Fantastic! Let's move on to automating the evaluation process. We will explore strategies like setting up CI/CD pipelines and using scripting for metric calculation. Does that sound like something you're interested in learning more about?
Yes, I want to learn about it.
Wonderful. Now, a crucial part of evaluation is understanding common pitfalls. We'll cover things like selection bias, insufficient data, and incorrect metric choices. Have you encountered any of these challenges before when evaluating your own agents?
Yeah, when I was building Gradientflo, I actually experienced pretty much all of this. The insufficient data comes from the model itself. How do I tackle that? The insufficient data
That's an interesting point. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, insufficient data is a common challenge. We can discuss strategies for addressing that during this learning journey. What questions do you have about best practices so far?
Actually, I don't know.
No problem at all. Let's keep moving on to the 4th step. We'll discuss practical implementation with LangChain evaluation, focusing on setting up evaluations for various agent tasks, defining custom data sets, and integrating evaluation modules. Does that?
So this is how a tutor will start teaching you. Okay, so it's still in the early stages, but it will get matured over time. But the whole idea is just like how the voice agent is teaching you, this is something that your peer or an SME or somebody, an expert who's already building, they are the one who comes and teaches you that. So how do we replace that with an agent which basically teaches you and understands you in a high-priced way? That is what we're trying to achieve. On the right side, you can see different types of artifacts. So you can see the slides. So you can basically generate different types of artifacts based on the context. It also gets mutated over time, and it basically makes sure that the context that you're learning on the left also has an updated context on the right. So that's how it's always in sync. So this is the overall course learning part. Now let me show you the profile part. So under the hood, there's a lot of orchestration that's happening. It looks very simple from outside, but it has a lot of agentic actions that are happening while it is teaching you. And these are the 12 different artifacts that we are rolling out. So starting from AI docs, architecture, videos, deep research, any of that you can always access and get it done. And this is the entire agentic tech stack that we are using, and Google has been supporting us great on this. So we are fully on Gemini models, and if you can see the proactive memory, archival memory. So memory is a very big factor of our platform because that's what is creating the personalized learning. And we are also deeply getting integrated with all the platforms. So how many of you are using these tools? If you can raise hand. Notion, Codex, nice. So GitHub, I'm sure everybody is using. How many of you are using CodeAnt? Does any of you know about CodeAnt? So first thing you need to know about is CodeAnt, because that is what is a review tool that we are using. So how are we getting integrated inside GitHub? So on the left side, if you see, there is something called CodeRabbit that we are using. So CodeRabbit, basically what it does is, it basically looks into your PR that you have raised, ensures the quality gates are met or not, and then basically rejects the deployment. So it's an auto deployment, auto review platform. So since the deployment is not done, we are trying to understand the skill gap, why certain things are missing, and based on the context the system is giving, we are instantly generating a course, and all you have to do is you just have to click on start course, and instantly the course gets initiated. So this is how we are basically closing the entire developer loop. I think the most important thing is total PRs and commits made. So today, a developer's real value to a project is total PRs raised versus total commit made. So how many commits did you make in your last 6 months is your offer letter. So if your commits are so low, that means you're not a person that I will pick. So please be very conscious that this is a fairly new thing and nobody has evolved, but this is the age that we are moving in, because we are not writing code anymore. Okay, you are basically producing value by raising a PR, solving the business case, ensuring everything is passed and the commit is made and it's in the hands of user. So this is going to be the new metric for you. So here what we're trying to do is, okay, now I basically have your learning data, now I know your application rate, now I know how. So the old resume basically has same text based, okay, I know this. We're doing the opposite. We're actually literally mapping each and every skill of yours. If you are an AI developer, I need to understand how efficient you are on a specific framework, on a specific technology, on a specific thing. So we are literally trying to map that, and then we are trying to map that with the key metrics of your resume, which is basically the skills mastered and applied, total PRs raised, total commits contributed, and what is the code quality. This is going to be the ultimatum for the developer, because developer is becoming more of a problem solver. Syntax writing is taken care by agents. Yes, there will be still syntax writing, but it will only be 30%. But the 70% of boilerplate or the initial code is already written by all the agents, because they're already way too much trained from all the Stack Overflow data and all the GitHub data, all the public repos. It's already trained, like how ChatGPT has been trained from all the literature PDFs. The all latest Claude Code models are already trained on GitHub public repos. So this is how your profile is going to look. Okay, So you can see the total activity of how much you've been learning on a daily basis. And because you are using the platform daily on a daily basis and you're learning, so we're also calculating the learning velocity, and this is how we are mapping the entire knowledge graph. And then we have other metrics like skill confidence metrics, what is the active memory that is getting updated, and all the tutor metrics. For example, how many questions did you ask during the session, and how much time have you spent, how many analogies did you ask. So we're literally trying to track each and everything from the session data, and this is what will become your new resume data as well. So the last question. So whoever answers this, well, there's going to be a very special gift. In the age of AI, what do you think is the most valuable skill? Wrong? Somewhat partial, right? Yeah. Tell it. System thinking? Somewhat right?
Problem solving.
Yeah, that is always there. So in the age of AI, the most valuable skill will be understanding and learning. Just learning what the agent is doing, learning what the agent is giving you as an output, learning how to take controlled outputs from these LLMs, and then raising a PR as a value for your daily work, and then pushing it as a commit. This is going to be your new value line. Right now, if any of you guys are doing this, we are ready to take you in, because that is the ultimate value you are giving to the company, to the product, to yourself. So this is a new workflow that is getting created. The whole transformation is actually moving towards that. So your ability to understand and your ability to learn versus your learning velocity index are the new metrics of your resume versus you getting shortlisted from the crowd. So I want to end this presentation. So the future of engineering is all conceptual. So you need to like vibe coding. So everybody thinks vibe coding is lovable because that is the only mainstream platform which is giving the highest level of outputs. Which is true. They established this word. Yesterday, my cousin was telling it is a year. Vibe coding is now the year of the word of the year. And vibe coding is you have a thought and you don't want to code in a traditional way. You still want the output to come. So that's when you're prompting. So your thought is your vibe, and you're coding and you're prompting it and you're getting the output. So now vibe coding is not limited to lovable. People are getting it wrong. Vibe coding is at every level. Vibe coding is at front end, back end, database, DevOps. Tomorrow it comes into infrastructure as code. Your infrastructure as code can be vibe coded. And everybody, there are products getting built on top of it. QA automation is vibe coded. Your test cases are vibe coded. So everything is getting from a prompt engineering, but you need to be expert prompt. If you need your thought, you need to have that understanding. Only if you have that learning ability, you have that thought, and then you'll start vibe coding. So don't get vibe coding wrong. Vibe coding is all levels. So I would like to thank the team. I want everybody to come onto the stage. So this is an amazing team I have. In fact, everything that you're seeing today, organized, built, done. So we would love to have you in our beta program. You can scan the QR code. You can also talk to one of our team members, and you'll be part of our regular events. Just like how we have our team members, you'll also keep joining us.